Okay, here we go. This is Dragon Ball Genesis. Sorry for the cough. There is a YouTuber. Some of you may know him if you're in the Dragon Ball community as Masako X, or the guy who plays Goku on Team 4 Star, who does what if scenarios on his channel. I went through some of his old videos, like what if Goku turned Super Saiyan as a kid, what if Raditz and Nappa survived, what if Bardock was wished back, stuff like that. And I have actually found quite a few things that he hasn't done that seem very interesting, and because one of these already has a start in a fan manga, I want to try to do this one first. It's what if every Saiyan survived, like Frieza killing off the planet. First of all, it goes like this. Bardock, instead of going out to fight on his own, earlier he fights the king, King Vegeta, and he wins because of all the Zenkai boosts he's got, and because he's been in battle a lot more often than King Vegeta. Well, since he wins, the entire reason why he wins is because if he's the king, people will listen to it. So since they'll listen to him, they will help him fight against Frieza. Now, in this fight against Frieza, Frieza is in his first form. No one's come up to challenge him. He thinks, let's just destroy the planet now. Well, that's when every single Saiyan besides Kakarot and a few off-planet, which, yes, some of the ones off-planet will have to die for this, but that's not the mass genocide. That's just something else. It happened before the mass genocide. So yeah, Bardock's crew is still dead. There are still other Saiyans away on missions that are dead. Some may have miraculously survived this just because. Well, we have the entire Saiyan race that's on the planet gathering up, and then they have King Vegeta and a lot of other nobles of the Saiyan race throw up the fake moons, that give away the Blutz wave so that they can go Great Ape. They all go Great Ape, and then they all fire an eraser gun towards Frieza's spaceship. Now, before this can hit, Frieza notices this and tries to go into his second form. Then he realizes that all that energy together could possibly kill him even in that form. So he tries to go into his third one, and halfway into turning to his third one, every single one of his soldiers that are out in outer space and all that die. Now Bardock is not only the king, Gine is the queen, Raditz and Kakarot are princes. Kakarot is out on Earth, but now Bardock, since he has defeated Frieza, he has proven himself as the new leader of the Frieza Force, which is now the Bardock Brigade, just because. I don't know what would be with, if I were just to, say Saiyan, we could do, the Saiyan Pirates, I don't know. But I mean, if he's in charge of the entire Frieza Force, yeah. But I mean, there would still be a couple that would defect off or try to mess with him. I'm gonna say, just for this, that since they defeated Frieza, Ginyu is going to be loyal to Bardock and probably some of the Saiyan royalties, probably not all of them. Now, flash forward, everything in Dragon Ball happened, like the original one, that happened. There is no change to the original Dragon Ball. However, then we get into Z. And Bardock and Gine and Raditz and even ex-Prince Vegeta are watching Earth and wondering what would be the best way to get him back to their side of their little planet trading pirates side. Well, they decide, first of all, send Raditz, maybe an underling just in case if they have trouble, which Raditz is about 15,000 at power level, so we're going to say his underling is about maybe 1,000, which is only a couple hundred or so above what Goku and Piccolo were at. So Bardock leaves Nappa in charge for a while, and he goes out. Bardock, Gine, and Vegeta go out, not quite heading to Earth yet, but still heading there. And then Raditz and his underling arrive on Earth. His underling goes after Piccolo because of the high power level, but not the highest, and Raditz goes after the highest power level, which turns out to be Goku. Now, Piccolo's gonna have a little bit more different of an encounter with this Saiyan than Raditz. Due to the fact that Raditz was a little aggravated with Piccolo not being Goku, this one just wants to get his mission done. So he doesn't hurt Piccolo in any way. He just goes up to him, says that he's not Kakarot, and then just leaves over to the Saiyan pods where they crash landed. Or just landed. And then Raditz comes back with Kid Gohan and all that. Now, Piccolo and Goku get together as normal, but both of them faced off against a different Saiyan, so they don't know who can do what. And, well, they decide to go there anyway and do a 2-on-1 with the one that seems weaker and see if they can get the drop on that one. Who's around power level 10,000, or not 10,000, 1,000. Well, their first fight is against the underling. Now, the underling is faster than what they've ever seen, but not quite as fast as Raditz. Now, Raditz is sitting in the back, looking at his scouter, thinking there might be something special about this kid. He might be stronger than a normal Saiyan, and he's definitely stronger than your average human. But he won't fight. Then he turns around and looks at what's happening. Piccolo has fired off a special beam cannon, and it misses the underling, but then Goku comes behind and does like one of those sledgehammer moves where you take your hand up above your head and then you slam down. And then Goku proceeds with a Super Kamehameha, and that's the end of that underling. They're already beat up a bit. And then Raditz decides to step in. Now, Raditz didn't see what this special beam cannon would have done because it didn't hit the underling, and he's a little bit more cocky due to him now being a prince. Even though he's one of the weakest Saiyans around. Now, Goku starts to fight Raditz, and he's doing a little bit better due to him getting used to fighting the Saiyan underling, who was not as strong, but pretty close in power, only by 500 on a scouter. Now, Raditz beats them up more than they originally were, and Goku gets Raditz distracted and gets Raditz to nearly punch him in the face when Piccolo does his special beam cannon, and it hits Raditz in the shoulder rather than the pad like in the original anime, and now he's furious. He decks Goku in the face and it snaps his neck, so that's how he dies in this. And then Gohan comes out. He bursts out of that Saiyan pod and rushes straight over to Raditz, hitting him harder than he did in the original anime, cracking a rib or two through the armor, and then just acting like a wild animal. Gohan goes up and down, punching him and kicking him and all of that, which is doing tremendous damage. And while that's happening, Piccolo is charging up another special beam cannon and is slowly walking forward so that when he's ready, he can grab Gohan off, stick his fingers over straight into the middle of Raditz's chest and fire, which he does. And although Raditz grabbed his arm and nearly ripped it off, Piccolo fired it right before Raditz could do anything more than that. Piccolo regenerates, all that. Goku's dead. And Piccolo takes Gohan out to train like normally. Kami and Popo get the other Z fighters starting to train. Kami gets Goku going on Snake Way. And then during the battle, like in the original anime, they talk about the Dragon Balls. But the Dragon Balls don't interest Bardock or Guinea. But, however, they do interest Vegeta. Because if Vegeta gets the Dragon Balls and wishes himself to be immortal, he can take his throne back. Which is the entire reason why he's under Bardock's mentoring. To find out what Bardock's weaknesses are and take back his family throne. Well, that's the end of the beginning of the Saiyan arc. Now let's go into the continuation of the Saiyan arc. The next video is going to start off with the Frieza saga, which isn't the Frieza saga in this case, because Frieza's dead. It's going to be... I'm not going to bring up Cooler, because he's movie and heroes only. You're going to see who I'm going to bring. Now, Bardock, Guinea, and Vegeta are all on their way to planet Earth. Goku hears of a third warrior who although is weaker than the other two and Raditz, it seems that she has, or let's just say they have, a hidden strength within them. Now, the reason why I say that is because, well, Gine is the most pure-hearted Saiyan out there besides Kid Goku. She acts way more like a human than any other Saiyan, and even though they don't have like marriages or really families besides like kings and nobilities, they sort of have little family units. She sees, or she, before she was even a queen, saw herself as, or saw her and Bardock as more than just underlings and reproducers. Let's just say that. So she is more in touch with her emotions, and as we know, when Saiyans get emotional, they get strong. So yeah, that. Okay, so they're on their way. Goku, since he hears that there's 3 coming, he knows that he's going to have to train a little bit harder. So he's about 500 more levels above where he would normally be. And yeah, he knows all the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb and all that. Well, by the time their training is done, Gine, Bardock, and Vegeta crash land in the same city. However, unlike in the original anime, they don't just blow up the city. They just leave their pods due to Gine not wanting anything to die and having an influence on her husband. And Bardock has an influence being Vegeta's mentor. Now, they fly all the way over to Kami's lookout, and just as they arrive there, the 4 Earthlings are done with their training. Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu. Bardock looks over with his scouter trying to find any higher power levels, and he sees Gohan and Piccolo coming his way. That's when Bardock takes off the scouter and says, Gine, you stay behind. If they want to fight, they're going to have to fight with us. You should be the only one with a scouter. Raditz died wearing his. And so Bardock crushes his scouter and lets it drop. He wants to be surprised by his own son, by how much he's grown. Now, around this time, since he's a lot more of a active king than King Vegeta was, he definitely gets a lot stronger than just a power level of 10,000, like he was in the Bardock special and Dragon Ball Minus. He's now around, I'd say, 15, maybe even, let's be generous and give him 18,000. Okay, and then Vegeta's 15,000 like he originally was before the Zenkai boost. And Gine is around a power level of 800 because she doesn't like training. She doesn't bother with it The only time she fights is when she needs to save someone. Now, an hour goes by. Goku's not there. Vegeta's getting furious. He can't show that he's better than Bardock's son. So immediately, he turns his fist over to Yamcha, opens up his hand, and throws a ki blast in his direction. Yamcha tries to swat it out of the way, but ends up dying anyway. It was too strong for him. And then Vegeta yelled towards Piccolo, "Get Kakarot out here. If you don't, I'll kill off every single one of you for every hour I have to wait." Just as that happened, Vegeta took out 3 Cybermen plant seeds and threw it over towards the trees on Kami's lookout. Which, if he didn't know, yes, it does have trees. They grow and they start to go around the Earthlings. Tien takes one out with a chop. Krillin takes one out with a Destructo Disc, and Piccolo from far away ki blasts one. That's the end of the Cybermen. That's when Goku shows up. But Vegeta has other plans. He aims another ki blast right at Krillin, knowing that it would anger Kakarot and give him a better fight, and shoots it over. But it's not Goku who tries to block it away from him. It's Tien, taking off Tien's arm, just like Nappa did. And then Tien takes his one good arm and does a Kikoho, or a Tri-Beam Cannon, towards Vegeta, and Vegeta's blown off guard, and even some of his armor breaks. Now remember, Vegeta's no longer royalty, so he doesn't have that blue colored Saiyan suits. He's no longer nobility either, so he doesn't even have what Nappa has. He just has normal Saiyan armor like Raditz. I mean, I guess we could say that he's nobility and give him like a little bit of an upgrade from Raditz's armor. But it would still crack it. At which Vegeta gets angry at Tien and shoots another blast and kills him. That makes Chaozu angry, and Chaozu leaps forward and grabs onto Vegeta's face and starts self-destructing. And then immediately, as he self-destructs, Vegeta wipes away the dust and starts shooing away the smoke, and reveals that nothing more than a scratch to his armor is what that did. Now, Goku was angered once he took Tien's arm off, let alone now. And Vegeta was now aiming at Krillin again. Goku busts towards Vegeta and kicks him in the arm at full power. You know, right where Android 18 did the left arm, you know, that meme, or whatever. Now, Vegeta is ready for a fight. He's been ready for a while, but Bardock wants a turn, and Guine's trying to keep him from going into battle as soon as possible. Now, the fight happens normally, but it's just above Kami's lookout rather than in a wasteland. It comes to where Vegeta is so beat up that he has to resort to being a great ape. That's when Bardock and Guine stop looking And once Vegeta goes Great Ape, he immediately crushes the ball. If any of you guys know what that does, those fake moons have more Blutz waves than a normal moon and can actually keep them as an ape for up to 5 minutes. This is relevant in Dragon Ball Xenoverse in one of the after story missions. And even in some other video games where you fight great apes. How they destroy it before other Saiyans can transform. Now Goku kicks Vegeta down to the ground, down past Korn's temple, and Pile Dry kind of cross-arm dives him as Krillin is readying up a Super Destructo Disc, which is just a bigger Destructo Disc, to cut Vegeta's tail off. Then Vegeta just can't take any more of it, and he charges up a huge eraser gun, and Goku's charging up another Super Kamehameha. They fire, and Goku has to go Kaioken times 3 in order to break it out. And Vegeta falls over while Krillin throws the disc and cuts off his tail. Now Vegeta's back to normal. However, he's more battered than he originally was. And Krillin tried to jump at Vegeta, trying to kill him as fast as he could. But then Goku stops him, saying that there's more than just him and that he can be redeemed. Now, no one has used sensu beans yet, so he gives Vegeta a sensu bean and he eats one himself and starts flying back up to Kami's lookout. And then once he gets there with Vegeta, Goku decides, let's go somewhere else, a wasteland, somewhere away from the populace, and Gine agrees because of the tribal people under Korn's tower. Well, they make it over to the wasteland, and Goku and Bardock have a go at it. And in the middle of this, Vegeta gets so angry and he wants a rematch so badly, he turned over and shoots Piccolo in the face with a ki blast, making him fall over dead. And that's when Gohan starts to get angry. Gohan launches at Vegeta and does the same thing that he did to Raditz, like an animal. And Gine pulls Gohan off and starts to hold him like a mom would hold her child, calming him down. And Vegeta's just trying to hold himself back because he knows that if he attacks Gine, then Bardock will have something to do with him. Now, Goku versus Bardock isn't like the Fate Against Worlds like Goku and Vegeta's was. It's more of a sparring match, but at full power and a likely chance of death. However, when they both get down for one final blast, Bardock charges up an energy wave, pulls his hand back, and fires it at full power, while Goku takes another Super Kamehameha and shoots it out, making a struggle. However, Bardock is winning. Goku goes Kaioken. No difference. Kaioken times 3. No difference. Kaioken times 4. They start meeting in the middle. And then finally Goku goes Kaioken times 5 and releases all of that energy. However, Bardock is fast enough to dodge out of the way and get behind Goku before Goku knows how to react. And Goku just stops. He's exhausted. He needs another sensu bean. So he reaches into his pocket and eats one, and then turns over to Bardock and admits defeat. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for today, or for now. Please go over to Moscow X's channel. Show him support. He's the one who got me to do this. And by the way, I'm going to try to go as far as I physically can with all of these, even all the way over to Super. And if I get Masako X to comment down in any of these videos, or even somebody to say that he mentioned me in one of his videos, which I know he probably won't do, I will split off the timeline and go and try and do a GT version. And I will do that for every single one of my alternate story what if scenarios. And that's time.